My name is Dr. Awogbenja Makanju. I will be taking you Principle of Nutrition, HSM226 and HEE224. That means the classes for both home management, home science and management, and both home economics education students. And under this course, these are the content for the duration. The first week, we'll be looking at Introduction to Basic Principle of Nutrition Science. Week 2, we look at carbohydrate. And under carbohydrate, we look at classes of carbohydrate, function, food sources, digestion of carbohydrate, and recommendation for dietary carbohydrate. Week 3, we'll be looking at fat, the nature of fat, function, food sources, digestion, and the RDA for fat. And week 4, we look at protein, the nature of protein, function, and others. Then week 5, we discuss vitamin, definition, function of vitamin, fat, water soluble vitamin deficiencies, and sources. And week 6, we also go through minerals in human nutrition, classes of mineral, functions and deficiencies, sources of mineral. And we round up on week 8, week 7, looking at energy, uses of energy in the body, factors affecting energy requirement in the body. So we are welcome. Let's look at week 1, Introduction to Basic Principle of Nutrition Science. So we are looking at definition of terms. What is nutrition? Nutrition is defined as science of food, the nutrient and other substances therein, their action, interaction, and balance in relation to health and disease, and the process by which an organism ingests, digests, absorbs, transport, utilizes, and excrete food substances. So nutrition study begin from the farm to your table, from your table to what happened to the food in the body. And we know that food does not only contain nutrients, but there are other substances that are not nutrients in nature. And food need to be balanced. We eat too much, there is problem. We eat too little, there is problem. So it's to be balanced. Moderation is the watchword in nutrition. What is food? Food is any substance, organic or inorganic, when ingested or eaten, nourishes the body by 1, building and repairing body tissues, 2, supplying heat and energy, C, regulating body processes. For example, milk is a food which contains the major nutrients such as water, carbohydrate, fat, protein, mineral, and vitamin. Water is both a nutrient and food. So water is very important. Then, what kind of quality do we expect from food? Ideally, food must have the following quality. It is safe to eat. It is nourishing or nutritious. It has palatability factors such as the color, aroma, flavor, texture. The presentation of food determine if we will accept it or reject it. 4, it has a satiety value. 5, it offers variety and plan within the socio-economic context of an individual. And 6, it is free from toxic agent or does not contain substance deemed deleterious to health. So these are the quality we expect from food. So what is the function of food in the body? These are classified into 3 main categories: physiological functions of food, psychological function of food, and social function of food. Let's take this one by one. When we talk about physiological function, what do we mean by physiological function? The physiological function is classified into 3: energy giving. The body needs a constant supply of energy to carry out the involuntary processes of which we are not even aware, such as respiration, circulation, movement of the muscle. Even when you are sleeping, the body is still working. So the body needs food for that. Energy is also required to carry out voluntary activities like household and recreational activities. Energy is two physiological functions of food. What do you mean by physiological function of food? The physiological function. No, number three, the third another physiological function of food is the regulatory and protective function. The, this food help to regulate the activity of the body. It includes regulation of such body activity as beating of the heart, maintenance of body temperature, muscle contraction, control of water balance. So these are under physiological function of food. Number two function of food classification of the psychological function of food. What would you mean? The second major function of food is psychological function. Food must also satisfy certain emotional needs. This includes sense of security, love, attention. Everyone grows in a particular culture with own unique food habit of that culture. So when you see food that is common in your area, wherever you are, you want to visit a restaurant where you can get that kind of food. Three, social function of food. Food and eating has significant social meaning. When we share food with any other person, it implies social acceptance. We express our acceptance of friendship and respect for that person. So, social function of food in all our social function, food is an item, part of the agenda. So these are the three functions of food. Once again, physiological function of food, psychological function of food, and social function of foods. Food groups. Food has been classified in different forms. We have 5 groups. One, cereal, root, and tubers, which we usually call staple food. Food which is common in our area all throughout the year, commonly eaten. Number two, now the cereals, root and tuber can be gotten from rice, maize, rice flake, wheat flour, yam, and tubers. And what do they give us? What kind of nutrient do we get from there? We get energy, protein, little vitamins, vitamin B1, vitamin B2, folic acid, iron, and fiber. The second classification is the pulses, nut, and oil seeds. We have example. We have our soya beans. We have beans. We have groundnut. All are under this group. And what do we get? We get energy, protein, invisible fat, vitamin B1, vitamin B2, also folic acid, calcium, iron, and fiber. The third group is the meat and their products. And these are the animal sources of protein. Example, we get them from chicken, from our egg, from meat, from liver, from fish, and even from cod. And the nutrient obtained from this third group is protein, fat, vitamin B2, and calcium. Then the fourth group is fruits and vegetables. Fruit and vegetables. For example, fruits, mango, guava, tomato, papaya, or pawpaw, orange, watermelon, carrot, etc. These are rich in carotenoids, that is vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin B2, iron, and fiber. We also have the vegetables, we can get from spinach, ewedu, and all other vegetables like water leaf, bitter leaf. They are all sorts of vegetables, and they are rich in vitamin B2, folic acid, calcium, fiber, iron, and carotenoids. Then the last aspect is fat and oil. Fat, we can get fat from butter, cooking oil. We can also get the jaggeries and sugar we can get from honey and sugar. These are usually used, we get it as a source of energy, fat, essential fatty acids. So these are the groups, food groups, that we'll be looking into later. Now the next thing we want to define is, we have been talking about nutrient. What is nutrient? Nutrient is a chemical component needed by the body for one or more of these general functions: to provide energy, to build and repair body tissues, to regulate life processes. Classes of nutrients. There are 6 classes of nutrients: protein, fat, carbohydrate, mineral, vitamins, and water. Sources of nutrients. We have 3 major sources of nutrients to the body. Some are manufactured by the body through the process called biosynthesis. 2, some are made in the laboratory, called man-made nutrients. Our supplements, as example. 3, some are supplied from food, because the body does not synthesize dietary essentials. To round up this class, nutrient classification. Nutrient may be classified according to function, chemical properties, essentiality, or concentration. This will look one by one in the next class. You are welcome. Thank you very much. See you in the next class.